Hey everyone, so let's talk about a piece of technology that is so common, so simple, we barely even think about it. But believe it or not, it's responsible for one of the biggest shifts in all of human history. Yep, I'm talking about the humble candle. It did way more than just conquer the night. It literally unlocked human potential on a scale that's hard to even imagine.
But before we get into the solution, I want you to really think about this question. Really try to picture it. A world with no light switches, no street lamps, nothing. When that sun went down, that was it. The world was plunged into this deep, profound darkness. A kind of blackness that, honestly, most of us today have never even experienced.
Okay, so let's dive into the problem. Before the candle really became a thing, humanity was in this constant, daily battle with the night. And our weapons in that fight? Well, they were flawed, they were inefficient, and a lot of the time, they were just incredibly dangerous.
Look at the options people had. It was a terrible choice. On one hand, you've got pine torches. Sure, they give you light, but they burn out in just a few minutes. They fill your home with this thick, choking smoke, and they're constantly spitting out sparks. Not great. The alternative, an oil lamp. The fuel was often really expensive and smelled awful. The flame was super unstable, and if you tipped one over, that could mean a catastrophic fire. Neither one was a good solution.
And we have to be really clear about this. Living by the sun's rhythm wasn't some kind of romantic, peaceful lifestyle choice. It was basically a prison. Society was completely locked into the schedule. It put a hard limit on industry, on education, and even on just getting together with family and friends after dark. Think about it. Half of every single day, half of human life was just lost to the night.
But then, innovation started to, flicker to life. The solution wasn't one single invention, but this brilliant, centuries-long path of tweaking and refining that would eventually make light available to everyone. This whole journey starts about 5,000 years ago with the Egyptians and their simple rushlights. But the first real game-changer came from the ancient Romans. They introduced the wick, and that was the key to getting a stable, sustained flame. From there, it really became a story about materials. In the Middle Ages, you had beeswax in Europe, which burned clean but was crazy expensive, a total luxury item. Meanwhile, innovators in China were finding cheaper vegetable sources. And then, boom, the Industrial Revolution hits, and chemical discoveries just put everything into overdrive.
And this right here is one of the most important steps in the whole story. The work of this French chemist, Michel Eugène Chevreul, with stearic acid was absolutely revolutionary. It led to stearin wax, which created a candle that was hard, bright, and pretty much smokeless. This single chemical breakthrough totally transformed the quality of light that was available to people.
So what did a better, cheaper candle actually do in the real world? This is where the story gets really exciting. The candle stops being just an object and becomes this powerful engine for changing society, solving all those fundamental problems of a world that was ruled by darkness.
You see, these new candles just ticked all the boxes. They burned for hours, not minutes. The solid wax was infinitely safer than a bowl of spillable oil. That steady flame gave people bright, reliable light for doing detailed work. And finally, industrialization meant that this amazing technology became affordable for pretty much everyone. And just look at this number, 1,500. That's how many candles a single machine could crank out in 1 hour back in 1834. This wasn't just an improvement, it was a total explosion in production. This is the moment light stopped being a luxury for the rich and started becoming a utility for the masses. The final result was completely transformative. For the very first time, humanity could basically hack its own biological clock, but on a massive scale. The night was conquered. It became this new frontier for work, for learning, and for community. The candle didn't just light up rooms, it ignited human potential.
And the economic impact of this revolution is still just staggering. Get this. Today, a single town in China has a candle industry valued at over 1.2 billion yuan a year. This is not just some historical footnote. It is a massive living industry that was born from that ancient innovation.
But that practical, industrial story isn't the whole picture. You might think the story ends when the light bulb is invented, right? But it doesn't. When the candle wasn't needed for survival anymore, it was free to become something more. It became a powerful cultural symbol.
This beautiful line from the poet Li Shangyin just captures that shift perfectly. It speaks to devotion, to the passage of time, to sacrifice. The candle evolved from being a purely practical tool into a vessel for our deepest emotions and our biggest ideas.
And you can see that transformation in how we use candles today. It's not really about seeing anymore. 40% of its use is in religion, symbolizing divine light. 30% is for celebration, birthday cakes, holidays. And the rest is for lifestyle and romance, creating an atmosphere that electricity just can't quite replicate.
And that brings us to this incredible statistic. 70% of people feel that candlelight creates a more romantic atmosphere. That soft, flickering glow has this really profound psychological effect on us. The candle went from a tool that helped us survive the night to one that helps us connect with each other.
When you look at it all, the story of the candle is just this powerful reminder that world-changing innovations often start as really simple solutions to everyday problems. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What seemingly ordinary object in our lives right now is just sitting there, waiting for its moment to spark the next revolution?